Hi guys, I'm in Taiping Lake Garden, the oldest and perhaps is also the most beautiful gardens in Malaysia. But besides the lake garden, there are many places you can visit in Taiping. I'm having a day tour today and decide to visit some unique places. So I'm going to a coffee mill which will be operated by an 80 years old grandmaster to produce a traditional Nanyang coffee. I will also go to a biscuit shop to witness how to make ma tai so, the traditional Chinese biscuit, by using a clay oven. And lastly, I've booked with one of the charcoal factory in Taiping, and the owner will then explain to me how to make charcoal, the entire process, which you'd guess how long. It will take more than 1 month to produce a charcoal. So without further ado, let me show you. Let's go. Our hotel is only a stone throw away from the Taiping Lake Garden, so we decided to take a stroll before we visit the factories. The rain tree walk at Jalan Pengkalan is dotted with a row of magnificent rain tree on both sides. Many of these trees are older than 100 years, with long branches that extend across the road, forming a large canopy covering the road. Since we have made an appointment with the owner of the biscuits factory, we decided to come back again in the evening. The first factory that we're gonna visit is a factory that produces traditional Chinese biscuits such as dumpling biscuit, kaya puff, flaky salted egg biscuit, but the most renowned one is the one called Ma Ti Shu. Mr. Ong has started making these biscuits when he was still a young boy at 12. He has inherited the business and is now the third generation of the family-run biscuits factory. Meanwhile, he started to wrap the stuffing with maltose, oil, sesame seeds and fried onion. Then he rolled the pastry into a round shape and does with copious flour to prevent them from sticking. He started making the ma ti shu by lighting up the coconut husk in the oven. After some time, the coconut husk will slowly turn into coconut charcoal, used for baking and flavoring the biscuits. The temperature of the oven is crucial for making the biscuits, so he splashed some water into the oven to cool it down from over 400 degrees Celsius to about 230 degrees Celsius. Incredibly, he knew the temperature was right by just listening to the sound of the water splashes. Next, he invited us to paste the biscuit dough around the inner surface of the oven, starting from the top towards the bottom. According to him, each batch of biscuit is about 130 to 150. It's a tedious process and the production is limited. That's why the factory also used an electric oven for mass production to meet the demand. But the flavor made with clay oven and coconut husk is unbeatable. After the coconut husk has turned into charcoal, he then transferred the charcoal to the bottom of another traditional clay oven. The shape of ma ti shu made by the traditional oven is not symmetrical but bulges to one side. This is the result due to the gravity and the weight of the stuffing. Since the biscuits are pasted vertically on the oven's wall, the gravity will pull the stuffing down. As a result, it forms a natural shape that looks like the horse hoof. Therefore, the biscuit is named after the hoof shape, that is ma ti in Mandarin, and shu, which means flaky biscuit. According to Mr. Ong, the biscuits has a long history dated back to 1,400 years ago during the Tang Dynasty of China. Fast forward to 21st century, he and his teams are committed to keeping the traditional art of making the biscuit alive and will continue to produce this ma tissue with the clay oven. Next, we head to Kilang Kopi Istimewa, or specialty coffee factory, a family-owned coffee mill run by a master coffee maker with more than 60 years of coffee roasting experience. Hear it, 60 years of coffee roasting experience. I didn't say it wrongly. Roasting coffee, or more appropriately, we call it fried coffee, as the process also involves actual frying. It's a traditional skill that involves years of practice and experience. Steve, the son of the old master, mentioned to us that the intensely competitive coffee industry has driven some coffee mills to opt for shortcuts and use some sub-quality ingredients to produce coffee. Nevertheless, his father still insists on using the traditional method and the best ingredient to produce a coffee with excellent quality irrespective of the ever-rising cost. This 84-year-old grandmaster has graciously agreed to show us how to produce the Nanyang coffee today. He also pointed out to us that there is a significant difference between the Western coffee and the Nanyang coffee in Malaysia. The roasting process of Western coffee is only involve coffee bean, but on the contrary, Nanyang coffee is added with sugar, margarine, and salt in the process.
就有盐、有糖、有油这个就是主要的分别。对，然后这四样东西是传统的。
Modern equipment cannot replace the craft, as the skills and the experience are essential. The sugar is first heated until caramelized and continue cooking with margarine and salt. The old master explained that the timing of roasting coffee depends on the color of the coffee beans and also the sound produced by the coffee mill while roasting. It requires years of experience to decide when is the best time to remove the beans from the roaster. He has been in the coffee industry for more than over 6 decades and is the only coffee old master or Lao Tao show in Malaysia. After that, our master poured the roasted coffee into the sugar mixture and continued stirring. Again, he will use his experience to decide when to stop this process, and then pour the bean mixture onto a large surface to cool and form a solid slab. The final step involves breaking up the slab of coffee beans and then passing it through a grinder before proceeding to packaging and wrapping. Before heading to the charcoal factory, we stopped by a few tourist spots and took some photos. Have you wondered how charcoal is made? After lunch, we head to Kuala Sepetang to meet up with KY, the owner of my charcoal factory. KY is the third generation of the family business, traditionally producing charcoal for more than 80 years. He led us inside to show us a few giant igloo-like ovens, and he quickly pointed out that kiln is a proper word for this giant furnace. According to him, the igloo shape is best to conserve that heat inside the kiln. We thought the kiln was made with cement, and KY immediately explained it was built with clay and bricks, as cement can break easily when it's heated. The charcoal making process starts with arranging the local mangrove logs vertically in a kiln. It can house about 1,500 logs when it is full. The opening is then closed, and then it is heated up with a large fire continuously for 10 days.
Big fire, we go on for roughly about 10 days continuously non-stop. We want to bring the inner temperature up to 85 degrees Celsius. When the temperature achieves 85 degrees Celsius, we will convert the big fire to a small fire. Small fire, the hole will be smaller by adding more bricks and more clay to make the hole smaller. Small fire. Okay, we'll go on for roughly another 14 more days. 1-4. Yep. Dry already. What does it tell me? Inside already turned to charcoal. Once it turns to charcoal, what we do? We'll kill the fire, seal off the hole, let it cool down for roughly about 8 more days.
8 more days.
After 8 days, when it cools enough, only then we can open up the whole door, go inside, take out the charcoal.
So you see, the total duration to make the charcoal is about slightly more than 1 month. One of the byproducts during the production of charcoal is a mangrove wood vinegar, which is used to make soap, shampoo, and deodorant. And the shampoo has known for its property to stop hair loss. KY said he welcomed anyone to visit the factory, and I will leave the contact in the description below the video for you. We came back to Lake Garden before sunset. The garden has a large green landscape with Maxwell Hill sets as the backdrop. Paddle boats are available at certain lakes, and swimming is prohibited here. We end our Taiping day trip while enjoying the panoramic view and watching the sunset at the lake garden. Our itinerary includes some off-the-beaten-track places which are worth visiting in addition to the usual touristy spots. I hope you enjoy watching this video, and I'll see you again in another traveling video soon. Peace.